Hi, Todd from Woodturning Tool Store. Again, thanks for joining me. And this video is just before U.S. Independence Day, July 4th. And so I knew that was coming up, and I wanted to do a project for that. I've done some of this kind of turning before. It's been a couple of months, I guess, since I've done something like this. It's ring turning, basically. It's not turning rings or anything. It's turning a shape in a radial sort of form. So it's a ring turning, and basically you get a profile of a whole ring, and then you slice it on a bandsaw into radial segments, and you get a shape. So the shape I went for was the U.S. flag. So take a look at this. You can kind of see it's fat on that side, skinny on that side. So these were cut out in shapes on this block. Oh boy, let me get that wrapped correctly. So you can kind of see how it all came out. Take a look at that. That's the shape. You can see the wavy profile on the edge there and on the bottom side. So once you cut them out, you get this basic shape, and then you paint them and do some, elementary school decoupage art, and you get flags. So with this kind of turning, I got 96 segments, 96 flags. Actually, probably only about 80 survived. I couldn't get them all out of this block because it was a little too precarious to cut everything out. So what I've done is put holes in the back for magnets, and you can see I've got a bunch of flags up here stuck to the toolbox. So that's the project today. One thing I will say that is interesting about this project is once you get a shape you want to cut out, you need to create templates of the shape, of what you're trying to cut out, and then even then, when you get that shape, it's not exactly to the exact shape that you want to do, or if you're going to do any sort of application to this. So I spent a fair amount of time on the computer digitally manipulating this picture to actually map the shape of the final turned piece. So there was some computer work with manipulating the image. Used GIMP 2.8. It's a free photo editing tool, graphic arts tool, very similar to Photoshop, except it's free. So GIMP. Take a look at that if you're doing that kind of stuff. The other thing that I'll be doing with this is I'm probably going to sell these. I don't know if I'll put them up on the website yet. Take a look. I'll let you know through the email newsletter, or just take a look at the website if they're up there. And what I'll be doing is a certain percentage of the proceeds will go to a charity. I haven't quite decided yet, probably a veterans charity of some sort. So wanted you to know I've got 96 of these, well, like I said, 80 some odd of these things. Still waiting on the magnets for these last batch. And yeah, it's a fun thing to do. You get a lot of product out of one session of turning. Couple hours turning, and numerous hours just finishing and doing the final application and stuff. So thanks for watching. Subscribe if you can, and if you like the videos, if you like what you're seeing, take a look at our website, woodturningtoolstore.com, and join our newsletter if you wish. So for this video, I've actually got a big bowl blanket. It's that silver maple I harvested a while ago, but I had this idea, and I've done a bit of this before, bit of ring turning. I don't know if you've ever done any, but I had this idea to make some American flags, small ones. Oops, dropped my... So here's a template I cut out. It's a little, probably 2" by 1" American flag, and I cut out the other parts to use as templates. So how this is going to work, and I'm just going to angle the camera a little bit here, is we're going to use this big bowl blank. We're going to use, you know, 1" or so of it here in width, and about 2 inches. You see that circle there in depth, and that is really where the flag is going to come out of. They're going to be, going to kind of skew this a little bit in there like this. So you know, if we lay it down, that's kind of the way it's going to go. So in other words, we're going to cut a profile on this face, and inside here, and then we're going to have a ring, and we're going to section that ring and cut it up into little wedges all the way around. So with this, you know, we probably should get at least 48 flags out of it, and I haven't done a ring turning of this nature. I've done a couple simpler forms, so you know, come along with me and let's see how this goes. Okay, so first thing to do is to lay out the template, and I've cut this one from there, which is the top of the flag, and then this one from there, which is the bottom of the flag. So I got those. The top of the flag is going to go here, and then the bottom of the flag is going to go somewhere in here. So we'll end up with a flag in this. It's hard to see on the camera at that angle, but it's going to go in there like that. So we have to measure with this part first. Down I've got the depth measured, and I've got, where's my mark now? There it is. I've got this depth measured, so I've made that mark. Now let me make this mark here all the way around. This is wet wood, so it'll be interesting to see how this goes. So essentially what I got to do is I got to take this away till I leave a little ball on top of the flag post. It's going to be in there. But as I go down this, as I go down this depth, I have to put this little wavy curve in it. So So now we've got sort of the front profiled. I gotta clean up and dig deeper in here, but before I do that I'm gonna start digging this way. So that means I have to take this profile and plunge it in there. So I have to go in this way, that almost 1.5 inches or whatever that is. So that's what I'm going to do next. Basically just going to waste a bunch of wood right here and get at the backside. Full gouge, big one. Here you can see the backside profile so far, and you know, this little wavy strip is what I'm going to cut into there. So got a mark here about where the inflection point is. We'll cut that away, and we'll kind of have a flag shape going on. So here we go. Okay, now I'm just going to clean up a little bit. I'm going to make this back piece here is going to be the pole, so I'm going to clean it up a little bit, make it a little smoother. Okay, well, just about got this hollowed out. Okay, next step is to part it off. So I think we'll go from this side. Gotta go from this side just a little bit more probably, and then we'll cut it off here, and it's going to fall off as a ring. So we got to just be a little careful that we can catch it as it comes off. That's next. Here's a little tip. I built this little platform table a number of years ago, and it's really just a wooden dowel, a platform. These guides for a piece of plywood that fits in here for a router jig, so I haven't got that right handy, but that's handy to set up a level platform for marking, as I was doing. My marking kit here is nothing more than a magnetic mount, and just put drill a little hole in it with this little brass pin, and it registers perfectly in the indexing wheel. This one's from Iron Fire. I don't know who owns them now. I think maybe the Flute Master guys do. I'm not quite sure. But anyway, this magnetic base was for a dial caliper setup jig for my table saw. You can pick them up in any tool store for woodworking and stuff. Just goes on there. I set the pin in and set it into whatever. We got 14, 36, 48, and 60. So So if I go into the 48, which was what I was doing, set the pin in place and then lock the magnet down, and you're good to go. So that's what I use. And then of course with the platform set up over here, I don't have it set on center height exactly yet, but let me just, sorry for the bounciness, just moving the camera setup. And then with a flat carpenter's pencil, you're able to mark your markings all along there. And then just move the brass pin to the next hole, and away you go. That's how I do my indexing. So I've got this set on 48 divisions. God, that's going to be way too big. So we're going to go probably 96 on this. I'll do that, and we'll see the next stage. We'll cut that on tape. Well, there it is. You can see all the segments I've marked off. Here's sort of a view of how wide this flagpole will be. Still kind of hard to see what the heck it is, but wait till I start cutting them, I guess. Okay, we're back at the bandsaw. I've got a platform here that rides in the miter slot, and I've got this jigged up with a dowel on this piece of insulation, just something I could carve to fit in the center. That'll give me my center point. Jeez, I shouldn't have taken that off. There we go. So what we'll do is we'll carve or cut each section out. And we'll cut out 96 flags on this. I'm going to turn the dust collector on and get cutting. The first flag. So you can see from the picture we got a flag. So all I've done is actually bent the pole out a little bit. I should have straightened it, but looks pretty good. I'm pretty happy with it. So there we go. We're going to cut out 95 more flags. We'll probably, there's several that won't be able to use because you have certain cracks and stuff in the wood and stuff, but we'll cut the rest out. go. 96 flags. Look at that. Got them all done. I mean, well, do one more spray coat of finish on this and we're good to go.